You can friend, follow, or circle the Tony and Josh Show on Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Just visit TonyandJosh.com and click on the appropriate social media icon. You're listening to the Tony and Josh Show.
Howdy, boys and girls. This is Tony from the Tony and Josh Show. If it was Josh, I would have said this is Josh, but it's not. It's Tony. Anyway, this is the pre-show. Sometimes we get going about 15 minutes prior to the hour. Tonight, a little late. I was doing a little work outside and got in, had to get cleaned up, grab a bite to eat, and get ready for the show. So we'll be getting going here in just a minute. Josh has joined video free.
Yeah, I'm working on it. It should be up now. There we go. Hope it's pretty honest tonight.
Okie dokie. So I dropped my audio to you a little bit to see if we couldn't combat some of that music overwhelming you problem.
Oh, okay. Hopefully that has worked or is having some sort of an effect.
So far, yes. Audio is still pretty loud. Music audio is still pretty loud, and I'm still hearing you.
Very good.
So I was going to look up that, I think it's the ALS challenge that everybody's doing.
Ice bucket challenge, yeah.
I've been so busy with other things. I don't know what it is other than just people pouring ice on top of themselves for what I think is a goofy reason. Notoriety.
Yeah, we'll get into all that, I guess, throughout the show. I know a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up now.
Had I given it any forethought whatsoever, I probably laid down a tarp and done the ice bucket challenge here on the Tony and Josh Show tonight on the live broadcast.
That's not the direction I thought you were going with that.
Oh. I would have laid down a tarp and played some one-man twister.
No, I thought you were saying if I had any forethought on it that I would have, read something about it or looked up more information about it. And we don't have to discuss it. I just thought, it's a going item right now, a big item with people. I did make a tweet earlier today I got one favorite. It says, my tweet was, no one has asked soon-to-be former President Obama to do the ice bucket challenge. He's already wet. Oh, I'm sorry. I messed it up. He's already all wet. There you go. All wet.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Then I said, come on. You saw that one coming. I love bad jokes. I'm the only one, but I get a good laugh. Okay, I'll have to explain this one a little bit. Dominique Keith, she is a reporter at local Fox news station. She had a story, a news story about jump rope, except it was double Dutch jump rope.
Oh, geez.
2 ropes, and it was kind of interesting from the standpoint that she was trying to promote going outside and being more active, kids getting off the computer and going outside and being active outside again. And I responded with, well, funny that you mentioned that, because I've created, I'm working on an app, and up to 3 players can play online. Then it was a long time before I got a response. And then I already had my reply. I said, I've already got a sponsor, Double Dutch Apple Pie.
Oh, jeez. Was she a good sport about it, or
very? She's really she plays along quite well. I'm sure there's several face palms and some of the things I tell her.
Well, and I was going to say, I mean, some people could take that as definite trolling, and there's a lot of people out there that aren't too fond of that, but as long as she's a good sport and it's all done in humor and fun, then that's awesome.
Well, I never say anything hateful about anybody unless it's Al Gore, Obama,
oh no, you don't have to be a bully or hateful. No. Say mean things to troll. It just it's context and tone and that was definitely very playful. So I mean that's and very clever too. I'll give you that.
So somebody said something about trolling the other day, not towards me, but just about the trolls that are out there. And I said, I tweeted, I'm saving up for a trolling motor. It's a bass trolling joke.
Yeah.
I'm much cooler on the internet. Let's see. Oh, I was going to look this thing up. The ALS Association, thankful for the generation of ice bucket challengees. The last 2 weeks, the ice bucket challenge is quite literally soaked. See, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that makes these bad jokes. It's literally soaked the nation. Everyone from Ethel Kennedy, oh wow, to Justin Timberlake has poured a bucket of ice water over her head or his head and has challenged others to do the same or to make donations to fight ALS within 24 hours. Between July 29th today and August 13th, the ALS Association and its 38 chapters have received an astonishing $5.7 million in donations compared to 1.2 million during the same time period last year. These donations have come from existing donors and 106,955 new donors to the association. So I guess it's a good deal. I mean, my wife was telling me, I was going, it sounds kind of bogus to me. And she says, well, they've raised a lot of money. I said, according to who? And she goes, well, no, there's people that don't do the challenge and they've posted screenshots of how much they've donated. And, I guess from the association, you can go and donate. And I said, you want a screenshot? I'll make you a screenshot. I'll put $1 billion on it. Because right. I mean, that's no proof. So anyway, that's nice though. I mean, this is from the ALSA.org website. So they'd have no reason to lie about it. I mean, they had to have good reason to lie about how much they were getting. Although I guess it's they don't get hit with taxes on that.
No, I mean they're charitable. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be something that they got to pay into or whatever. But yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't suppose they have really anything to gain by saying, oh, we got this much. I mean, although when people hear that this is a charity being given tens of millions of dollars, maybe they're more likely to give.
Yeah, that's true. That is legit. Oh, actually, that reminds me of something we can talk about. This probably won't win us any friends, or at least me. Let's talk about homeless people, or at least people that are panhandling.
Oh yeah, I see hordes of them every day.
I hardly ever do. I just saw a animated GIF series the other day about a guy that was dressed up in a business suit with a cell phone next to his head, talking and asking people as they walked by, "Hey, you got 50 cents? You got blah blah blah. You got blah blah blah." And they were handing him money and stuff because he was in a suit and a sports jacket and had a cell phone and looked, normal. And then he dressed up like a homeless person and was asking for money, and people were going, like, "Get a job, go away, you loser." I mean, it was animated GIF. There was no audio, but you could
Right.
you could kind of see it. So he wasn't being helped whenever he was an obvious homeless person, and
Mm.
and I agree with that because I think you're just contributing to alcoholism, drug abuse, or whatever. It's not like it's a kid standing there, and even if it was, you see these stories where they're making, they're knocking down $106,000 a year, and they go around the block, get in their Beamer, and drive home after a hard day's work.
Yep.
You got to put the SPF 30 on, though, if you're going to be outside all day.
Leather skin.
So the Fox 26 weatherman said the other day, as he was showing an image of the sunrise at Galveston, he said, "Yeah, we have some pinkish hues." And I responded with, "Hey, pinkish hue, that's my nickname from my YMCA swimming days."
Pinkish hue.
A pinkish hue. White people, they get red.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Horrible. Horrible. You're chock full of groaners tonight.
No, not just tonight. It's every night.
No, I dig it, man. I like the puns. It's.
All right, so let's see.
Were you actually on swim team?
It was my mom had me. My mom doesn't know how to swim, so she made me go through every class that was available, swimming class at the YMCA. Had a little patch on my bathing suit, minnow and carp and shark and dolphin, and I don't know how a wet monkey made any sense, but they had a monkey class. So. No, they didn't. But so I went through all that stuff, and that's really what I was referring to. I'm actually it was anyway. I was actually a pretty good swimmer. I was one of the fastest in my class in junior high, doing the I need a drum roll, doing the breaststroke. but literally, I was the fastest guy in the class that swam the breaststroke across the pool.
Yeah, that was my worst stroke.
So let's see. Okay, I think I'll read this little thing that I just read before we talk about the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge.
Okay.
And so we'll start up, and yeah. Well, I guess we'll go. Well, I guess we'll start with we'll start with the homeless thing.
Okay.
And put this over here. Put that there. Oh, got to turn on the recording device.
Oh yeah, we might want to record this, just for prosperity's sake or whatever.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Testing, testing.
I need to change the labeling here on the mixer from Ustream to YouTube.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Although we've gotten pretty good out of habit from those Freudian slips of yesteryear.
Oh, I hope you have some information on the ISIS James Foley thing, because I've only heard a little bit about it. I put out a couple of pissed off tweets after I read about that beheading.
You probably know about as much as I do, so I just figured we'd bring it up and get pissed about it, and move on to the next thing.
Okie dokie. Somebody was saying something about because I was talking about Rick Perry was indicted for abuse of power, and he was supposed to present himself to local authorities for booking and fingerprinting. And there was some question about whether or not he was going to do that, and I put on a tweet, not that he was guilty, because I'm a conservative and I think it's a bunch of crap. Personally, I don't know how much you've heard on the news out there, but I said, I'm a conservative and I like Rick Perry, but our leaders need to quit picking and choosing what laws they decide to follow, and I don't care how bogus.
Course.
Yeah. I don't care how bogus the charges may be. He still needs to go through the process, because we have too many leaders and too many, they don't like the immigration, so they ignore it. And what does it get us? It screws us up. Yeah. Hopefully it gets them more votes, but anyway. So I was going back and forth, not really back and forth. Somebody came on there and said, I need to do my research. And I said, that requires reading and concentrating. And
no, I know.
I think I'll just stick with my with what thoughts I have in my head and my opinion. Not got no response.
This is from the Tony and Josh show.
Yeah. And you can get more. If you like that, you can get more. All right, so let's see. Okay, I'm gonna roll it.
All right, let's do it.
Warning. The opinions, ideas, views, emotions, and temper tantrums expressed or otherwise conveyed on the Tony and Josh show may not and most likely is not suitable for all audiences, and therefore should not be heard by anyone unless supervised by an appropriate nanny state. Enjoy!
Welcome to the Tony and Josh show.
Oh,
Tony and Josh are...
Silly thing stopped on me. Hang on.
Warning. The opinions, ideas, views, emotions, and temper tantrums expressed or otherwise conveyed on the Tony and Josh show may not and most likely is not suitable for all audiences, and therefore should not be heard by anyone unless supervised by an appropriate nanny state. Enjoy!
Welcome to the Tony and Josh show. Tony and Josh are the functionally illiterates of the podcasting world. Now here they are. Tony and Josh.
Yes, episode 36. You know me as Tony on the Tony and Josh show, and here's my co-host.
I'm Josh, and yes, you are here on the Tony and Josh show for episode 36 out of 36 now.
Well, Josh, I think I found a really clever way of waving at the camera. I was busy. This isn't going to go over well. I just now realized this. I was busy with my right hand. So I used my left hand to wave, and it is a really strange looking thing because the thumb is on the wrong side. Yeah, I'm Flipper Boy. So, but I liked it.
I'm not a switch hitter. Not a switch hitter. I can't do much with my left hand. Can you take that?
Oh, I can. I did it again. I can switch hands and gain a stroke. But bum. I have to get a bum thing to play.
We got to get a rim shot.
There you go, rim shot.
Said shot. Okay.
Yeah. That was one of the strangest things I ever learned about in 80s porn. Anyway, so what do we have tonight?
Oh, we've got a bunch of stuff for you guys. We're going to get kind of serious, and Tony and I are probably going to get a little heated on this discussion. Not that we're going to disagree, just there's some sensitive topics that we're going to hit tonight. We are going to hit on this whole ISIS thing, and of course the James Foley beheading video that came out. That has definitely got us a little bit riled up. There's some ALS challenges that have been hitting the web and become quite the viral sensation. We're going to touch bases on that. And of course, Tony and I might even chime in on homeless panhandlers.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to episode 36 of the Tony and Josh Show.
If you like silly humor, bad puns, tech, science,
and the occasional story that crosses your moral boundaries,
you guys got to stick around.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Yeah, I said that 35 or 36 a little funny because it said 35 on there. Just a little inside baseball. You know, I thought all baseball's inside. If you've got a dome stadium, baseball should be inside with the AC and the lights and the no birds and bugs.
And even though you guys can't be inside our respective studios here, you can get inside the Tony and Josh show. Just head over to tonyandjosh.com, and, well, we've got all sorts of stuff in there, even some sneak peeks behind the scenes of what goes on. And, of course, if you'd like to get in on the show, you can always leave us a voicemail or give us a call, or live call-in line, 267-507-0240. And you're going to need a 6-digit code to get in because we're top secret like that. 219-835. Those are the 6 digits you're going to need to connect to us. So hopefully we hear from you soon.
And if you want to leave us a voicemail, well, we've lost our voicemail number, but we still have SpeakPipe, which is a nice little app that lets you use your computer, tablet, iPad, whatever that has a microphone attached to it and can get on the internet. Just go over to tonyandjosh.com. You'll see the little SpeakPipe. What do you call that? An icon, little graphic thing over there on the.
It's usually right over on the right side of the screen, and people just got to click on that, and don't worry, it's not going to be any spam or anything like that pops up. It's just going to basically use the microphone built into your computer, record a voicemail like you would over your phone, and boom, right to us.
And in most cases, you would not believe how much better the sound quality is from your computer than it is on some of the voicemail services that we've used, including Google Voice.
Yep, indeed.
So anyway, let's get into this. Josh, now I was mentioning in the pre-show, which, oh, by the way, if you want to come and watch the show live, you can come here Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Central, youtube.com/Tony and Josh Show. And if you subscribe, you can actually click on the little live events and be reminded about when it's going to come on. But anyway, you can join us live and call in. That's why we have the call-in number. Obviously, if you're listening to this recorded, you can call the number, but nobody's going to be there. If there is, it'll be a hell of a quinky-dink.
Right.
But anyway, I was telling Josh in the pre-show that you can only see on YouTube this deal about the homeless panhandlers type thing. I had saw a animated GIF. I guess it was. Oh, and I'm sorry for those of you that call it GIF. GIF is peanut butter. GIF is is an image from CompuServe days. Anyway,
that's right.
Anyway, I digress. So anyway, I saw this animated GIF of this gentleman dressed up in a sports outfit, business casual, sports jacket, had a cell phone,
a sports coat and a shirt or whatever.
Older
was it
guy,
like a full button down and tie and everything. Was he business suit ready?
No, business casual, no tie. And he older guy, like in his mid-40s at least, I think. So glasses, cell phone to his head, doing business, wheeling and dealing. And he was standing out in front of like a bus station or some public place where there was a lot of foot traffic around him. And he was asking people, "Hey, can I get 50 cents? I need 50 cents for the bus or for the subway or whatever it was." And people were happily giving him $1 or $5 or whatever. So then in the series, you see him switch over to a more disheveled look with no jacket, maybe not all the buttons on the shirt, hair messed up, no cell phone, and looked very much more like a homeless person than somebody that's gainfully employed. I mean, he could be a drug dealer and still dress nice. I mean, people don't know that their opinion is that must be a business guy, and here we're going to give you money. Well, anyway, as a homeless person, people were, doing the hand as they were walking by, like, no, or looking down, not making eye contact.
Thanks, but no thanks. Yeah, not seeing you.
So it was very interesting. Now, of course, you can't always trust this stuff that you see on the internet because I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but people on the internet lie. Yes.
The hell you say?
It came to you first in politics, and now it comes to well, Al Gore gave us the internet, so that makes sense. It kind of has come full circle. But anyway, I digress again. So but anyway, so I thought this would make an interesting topic. How do you handle panhandlers? Pardon the pun.
Well, look, so I've got a very long commute. I hit pretty much every major freeway stem here in the Portland metro area. And I, of course, see a lot of on-ramps and off-ramps and stop signs, intersections, you name it. And it seems like it's a growing problem here where we've got a bum on every corner. Look, homelessness is not, anything to laugh at. Of course, we can make fun of it. I can make fun of it, anything, but that's neither here nor there. But it seems like the panhandlers are on every single on-ramp, off-ramp of every freeway around this area. And it, 10 years ago, it wasn't like that. 15 years ago, almost unheard of. But in the last, 5 or 10 years, things have really, really stepped up. And I'm not saying they're aggressive, like, what is depicted like out of a New York intersection where a guy comes up and he's throwing himself across the hood and he's washing your window and spit shining your mirror. And you're like, no, dude, I don't want it. It's not like that here, but it's the signs. They do get creative with some outfits and hey, look at me type of stuff. It's almost like a sideshow at times, but not quite to that extreme. But nonetheless, I mean, there are people obviously making a business out of this because I've been seeing them out there for years. It's the same person, got the same frame pack, the same damn dog. I don't know if you're homeless, panhandling. Why the hell do you own a pet? But that's a whole nother topic. But no, how do I deal with them? Look, if the person is if I can read their face enough to where they are genuinely broken down, I mean, there is nothing left. The soul bucket is empty. I might kick them a little something. If it looks like an able-bodied person that has absolutely no reason for being out there, I mean, bad luck is one thing, but you're out here for 2 years in a row. Come on, dude, it's time to get a job. I'm not going to give those people change. But if they're, I've never seen them before. Maybe they've got a very creative sign. Maybe there's a genuine reason. Maybe, there's, 100 yards prior, there's a broken down minivan with its flashers on or something like that. They've got a sign, broke down, need help. I'll kick them a couple bucks or something like that. That's one thing. But, if these habitual panhandlers, a whole nother story.
Well, I think we've seen the reports or heard about the reports on 2020 or one of those semi-news shows. Where people are knocking down $100K a year off panhandling, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's morally wrong, I believe, but legally not necessarily wrong. Unless
they're not paying taxes, in which case,
yeah, oh sure. And but if they are, I mean, they could. You can make money. You can be a consultant and make money, hundreds of thousands of dollars yourself, and it's up to you. It's your responsibility to pay taxes. Same with them. So, but anyway, what I'm saying is that it's legitimate. All they're saying is give me money, as long as they're not saying out there like they're blind, like the old Eddie Murphy thing in Trading Places. That was so funny.
Right.
I can see. It's a miracle, officer. So, but anyway, as you were talking about that, I was thinking, I don't believe I have ever given any money to a panhandler.
Ever?
Now, a lot of it has to do with I don't have money.
Well, yeah, I don't carry a lot of cash with me. I mean, I occasionally will have, a couple bucks in the ashtray, some change here and there, and don't get me wrong, I'm not, pulling out, stripper wads here and just making it rain on the off ramp. I mean, it's
dance, monkey, dance.
Okay, let me ask you this then, Tony. One step above panhandling, and I'm going to piss a lot of people off by saying this. One step above panhandling. Every Christmas, and no, pretty much it's the day after Thanksgiving and on. You got the Salvation Army out there ringing their bells. And these people, I mean, look, I know the Salvation Army does good things and all that, and but really, I don't need 6 weeks of bell ringing every time I'm walking into, Fred Meyer's or the grocery store or something. We get it. You guys are out, you're hitting donations and stuff like that. But, have you ever given to any one of those?
No.
Wow. Oh, you are a tightwad, aren't you?
I do not have, I do not carry cash with me. And years ago, I guess maybe it was in the 90s, whenever you did actually carry cash around with you. I still didn't. I mean, I think there's a way that you can donate to things like that without putting money in a jar where people are looking at you. It's some sort of peer pressure thing. I am anti peer pressure. I will do the exact opposite of what a group of people want me to do. It just pisses me off. And to me, that's a lot of what this is peer pressure. Now that I'm thinking about it, so it's a peer pressure thing. And you're walking by this guy ringing a bell. He's just damn lucky you don't push that Santa over and put that bell where you can ring it without a hand.
Such a Scrooge. So, okay. Have you ever given to charity at all? Cut a check to Greenpeace or to, Save the Whale Foundation or whatever it is.
Not those people.
Well, I'm, something along
sure.
those lines.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Right.
The thing I really like is the soldier stuff. Like we both recently bought the Wounded Warriors. What is it? Wounded XJ? What is it?
It's the Wounded Hidden Wounds XJ.
Yeah, Hidden Wounds. I got the shirt right here.
Project. Yeah, I got the Wounded Warriors Project and Hidden Wounds XJ all kind of mixed up there. But both good entities.
Yeah, I jumped right on that because here's the person. I know the person at least from the website. It's a genuine individual that has the post traumatic stress syndrome, and it to me it's legit, and I'm more than willing to give something that I guess the thing is that I don't want to be taken. I don't want my money to be abused. I mean, it's bad enough with the government doing it. I don't want to willingly give my extra income to somebody for them just to buy drugs or buy alcohol and not a legitimate use.
Yeah, I got to give it to this one guy. This was many years ago on my way to work. I was on my way home from work and stopped at an on-ramp. And he had this sign, "Let's be honest, I really just need a beer." And I was just like,
"You actually saw that? I've seen those on the internet, but you saw that firsthand. That's cool."
Yeah, firsthand. And I was like, "All right, well, first off, it's warm out. You go get yourself a beer." I grabbed my ashtray or whatever. I'd had 75 cents. I have no idea how much I gave him. It was just a small handful of change. And here, A for ingenuity. Good job. That sort of thing. Thanks for being honest. At least you're not blowing smoke up my ass.
Yeah.
Don't give me this, broke down out of gas and, your car is sitting right there around the corner and, it's clearly parked in a parking space. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it.
So it'd been funny if he could have flipped the sign over and said, "I'll blow smoke up your ass for another $5."
For 20. Wait till you see what I can do for $20. Yeah, no.
No, I kid the homeless, but they're not listening to us because they don't have technology either. So, but yeah, I mean there's nothing wrong with it. I mean it's each individual's choice, and I'm not trying to sit here saying you shouldn't give to the homeless or you shouldn't give change to them or buying beers or whatever. But I would be more inclined to if especially the situation you were talking about where you see the same person there for 2 years, I would be more inclined to, like if I was on my way to work, hey, I'm going to stop and get a box of McNuggets or a McGriddle or something and give it to this person. Because two things: if they're hungry, they're going to really appreciate it. If they're there, even if they're hungry, if they didn't have time to fix a breakfast at their $300,000 home before they went out and did the panhandling, if they're not, I mean, even if they are hungry, they're going to look at this and go, "What is this crap? I don't need this crap. I can buy my own food. I'm making money here. Give me money." So I think it has a dual purpose. It pisses them off because you're not giving them what they're wanting if they're being crooked about it.
Right. Yeah. If they're after drugs or alcohol or something, a sandwich, my leftovers from lunch that I didn't get to or didn't eat or skipped or whatever, to somebody who's truly destitute, it's going to be, life-saving potentially, honestly.
Yeah. I have no problem with helping hungry people.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Anyway, I think we beat that horse to death.
Yeah. I can go on and on.
Yeah,
but,
that was. I didn't expect us to go that far on that subject. I guess we were both kind of passionate about that one.
Well, here's something that people are getting passionate about. It's this ALS challenge that's going around, and there's been a myriad of these over the years, but the one that's really taken everybody by storm right now is this ice bucket challenge. Now, you guys have all seen, well, maybe not all of you, but at the end of a football game, the players come up and they dump the Gatorade thing over the coach, and I'm sure that's kind of where this came from. The motivation behind it, the inspiration behind it, if you will. The motivation is obviously to help a good cause. But this ALS challenge with the ice bucket challenge is it kind of started with like some celebrities calling some other celebrities out. Hey, do this ice bucket challenge. If you don't, you've got 24 hours, and if you don't respond, either with another ice bucket challenge or by saying that you're not going to do it, but then saying how much you're going to give to ALS and the ALS Association. This is how the game is played basically. And it's you type in ice bucket challenge right now in Google and you'll get 83 million hits.
Well,
and this is something that's huge right now.
Yeah. Speaking of millions of hits, let me just read this a little bit to you if you're not familiar with what we're talking about. I'm sure you've seen the ice bucket things, but maybe not know what it's going towards. This is from the ALS Association webpage at alsa.org. The ALS Association are thankful for the generosity of ice bucket participants too. Donations exceed expected with 5.7 million. Donations exceed expectations with 5.7 million since July 29th. Washington, D.C., August 13th, 2014. In the last 2 weeks, the Ice Bucket Challenge has quite literally soaked the nation. Everyone from Ethel Kennedy to Justin Timberlake has poured a bucket of ice water over her or his head and challenged others to do the same to make donations to fight ALS within 24 hours. Between July 29th and today, August 13th, the ALS Association and its 38 chapters have received an astonishing $5.7 million in donations compared to $1.2 million during the same time period last year. These donations have come from existing donors and 955,000 new donors to the association. So it is just an amazing deal how much power, how much money you can generate from getting these celebrities, people that we look up to or we like to follow. Maybe we don't even look up to them. Maybe we just lust after them. I don't know why people watch celebrities or even care about what they do. But I think I saw one where William Shatner was dumping a bucket of ice on his. But I think the bucket was actually a champagne. What do you call those things that you put the champagne bottle in?
Oh, it's just a little. Well, that's an ice bucket. Yeah, sure. And there's all sorts of variations of this. Some people are 5-gallon buckets. Some people are just like what you see in your hotel room, basically. A little miniature bucket of ice.
Right.
Not much bigger than a jar of pickles or something like that. I mean, look, nobody's trying to get drowned here or anything like that. And obviously, it's summer. This is perfect timing for this sort of thing, right? But you're right. Look at the power of this. I mean, Charlie Sheen. Everybody knows who Charlie Sheen is at this point. If you don't know who he is, well, you've been living under a rock the last 5 years.
Rock star from Mars, man.
But no, he's he opted to, I think, opt out of it, and he kind of did this little video where he had like a cooking pot, a big, like what you cook a big batch of pasta in or something like that. And he has it, in front of the camera, and he goes up over his head and tips it over, and instead of ice water coming out, it's a big pile of money. And he's like, oh, this isn't ice water. This is $10,000 in cash, and he goes on to say about his donation to the ALS Foundation or ALS Association rather, about, instead of doing the ice bucket challenge, he went ahead and made a $10,000 donation. Oh, of course, more power to him. You got Charlie Sheen money. You can afford to do that sort of thing.
So he's still hurting from being kicked off of the 2.5 Men show then.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that.
Now, when you said he raised the bucket over the top of his head, I really expect you to say that 2 or 3 half-naked women fell out of the bucket.
Oh, geez,
now that's something I can get behind, if you know what I mean. I think that's great. Although I only saw a still of the image, but my wife was just telling me about our illustrious past president, G.W. Bush. one of the prior presidents where there wasn't as many panhandlers because there was more jobs. Anyway, he did this ice bucket challenge, and she was telling me, my wife was telling me that he actually says, I've been challenged to do the ice bucket challenge for the ALS, and I don't think it would be very presidential for me to do that. So, and as he's talking, Laura Bush comes up behind him and dumps a bucket of ice water on him.
I'm sure that was completely staged, but
you think?
nonetheless, good for her.
So I thought that was. I'll have to go back and watch that now that I've heard what it was. But and he's challenged Bill Clinton to do the same.
Very good. Very good.
And I'm afraid Bill Clinton might misunderstand and think Laura Bush is somehow involved in the challenge.
Jeez. Well, I mean, that's, within 24 hours, he was supposed to respond. That's how the rules go. You've got 24 hours to, air a video of, yourself, through continuous footage, participating in this ice bucket challenge, or else you got to, fork over the cash, as it were. But most of these people are doing both.
I think the deal is that if you do it, you still have to donate money. It's just
like
less.
$10 if you do, or $100 if you don't.
Right. I guess it depends. And celebrities are like 1,000 or 10,000.
Right. Yeah. Something along those lines.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about this not so fun thing to talk about, Josh.
Yeah. So, what was it? Yesterday, it was announced that there was this video released by ISIS, very threatening, very, very evil video. Where in it they basically say that the Islamic nation, as it were, or the Muslim nation, whatever, is becoming organized and is now a global entity, and any further attacks on them is going to result in further U.S. casualties. And then they cut off the head of this reporter who was abducted, I think, back in 2012, a United States citizen, and they behead him. James Foley it was his name. And the video was authenticated earlier today, and it was announced this morning that this is legit. And I believe even our so-called president has already chimed in on this and is from Martha's Vineyard during, I believe, between hole 7 and hole 8. He went ahead and made the announcement that he doesn't condone this sort of behavior. So obviously, on
the plus side, that always meant something different whenever Clinton was at Martha's Vineyard. But see, they're not all bad, Josh. Actually, whenever President Obama spoke about that today, I was actually able to tolerate it enough not to change the channel. I don't know about you, Josh. I cannot. I literally cannot watch the TV or listen to the man. I hate being lied to. I hate being lied to, and it bothers me that so many people buy into the BS. And I was exactly the same way with Bill Clinton. It's a Democrat thing. I just don't like him. Don't trust him. Now, I think Bill Clinton and Obama probably would be both great people to hang around with and talk about stuff. I've mentioned it before. As long as we weren't talking about politics or getting people beheaded because you pull troops out of Iraq. But it just pisses me off. This is the dumbest thing that any one person could do. And this is exactly the reason why G.W. Bush was a great leader, because he said, this is a presidential decision. It's not a political decision. This is what we need to do. You can disagree with me if you want, but this is what we're going to do. And there was progress made in Iraq, not the progress that we all wanted, but you can only do so much for a group of people that won't help themselves. And but look at what's happened since then. I mean, I don't know that we need to have 100,000 troops or 200,000 troops in Iraq for the next 100 years. But it'd be a lot better if we had 100,000 troops there now than what it is, I believe. I certainly don't think ISIS would be emboldened to do this thing. And every time I hear this, I'm just going to say it, this bullshit about organization and world power, and you ain't crap. You are not. No. It's like when Gaddafi was talking about the line of death. you crossed the line of death. And then Reagan came in and bombed the hell out of him, almost killed him.
Well, honestly, that's what I think needs to happen right now is their area of control, what their area of influence. They're going through and beheading entire villages, basically.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be a peaceful religion. This is the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. That's what ISIS is, and it's these extreme jihadist Islamic bastards that are doing this in the name of religion, but they're killing their own kind. They're making threats against us, and all for what? All in the name of, well, this is a holy war. Is basically what this is coming down to. This is religion. They can't stand that there are infidels on their planet, and we all must die. So that's what it is, folks. And really, these kind of people need to be made an example out of, for once and for all. Look, I've got no problem against religion. I believe everybody's got their place.
Yeah, that's fine. Have your religion. Do what you want to do, but you need to have respect for people. You need to have respect for people around you. And
for the human race.
Right, for the human race. And if your religion does not allow you to do that, then sorry, you need to be put someplace else to protect.
We don't have room for that on this planet.
Well,
plain and simple.
I just want to say it this way. You need to be put someplace else to protect the other people that you're going to do harm to. And if we can't do that, you need to be taken off the planet because you are a pariah. You are a predator, and you cannot you cannot practice your religion where it keeps from subjugating other people to it. If your prophet told you that you have to either convert or kill, I mean, I don't think I do not know anything about the Islamic religion, but I can't help but think that God in all religions is a loving God, and a loving God is not going to tell you to kill somebody.
It's a misinterpretation of the Quran or however tomato, whatever.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the religion of Islam. It's just some people, how they interpret their religious script, whether it be the Bible, whether it be the Quran, whether it be whatever.
Right.
There's these people that interpret the words in it in a not too correct way. And that's what you get.
I wonder
here.
if it's a self-serving way, but I can't imagine why you would. I can't imagine why you'd want to have women be fearful or missing part of their sexual organs or covered from head to toe. I can't understand it. It's fine as long as the people around you are okay with it. But I can't help but think women and children are okay with this. I can't help but think that they're not okay with this.
No, I'm sure. I mean, look, it's not free. It's not freedom.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that every country's political structure or how it's how their livelihood or their culture works. Look, to each their own. But really, freedom is where it's at, folks. And you get these. You get these crazy religions. I don't know, like you get these religions that have some very off the wall, uncommon beliefs to them, and it's just to me right on the verge of violating human rights. And, of course,
it goes over that line in many cases. I think it does go over the line of violating human rights. Yeah. And I'll just mention Christianity on the face of it. If you've been brought up all your life listening to it, it makes sense. That is the way it is. But if you listen to an interpretation slightly off tilt, where it gives you a different viewpoint, you can say, well, that's pretty nutty. if you boil it down to, like Jesus being a zombie because he was raised from the grave, and so I can understand how people that that haven't been raised in a religion, whether it be Christianity or Islam or whatever, can look at that as the other religion as being nuts. So I try to keep that in mind whenever I say there's a nutty religion. That's why I go right back to the respect for other human beings, the respect for other life. So I think that if your religion allows you to respect life, respect freedom, respect femininity, the ability for women to make sandwiches when they want to, then I think that's okay.
Yeah,
We can call it the religion of Tony.
Oh, here we go. And he's going to lock himself up in a big fortress in Texas there. And, well, it's a little deja vu. I think we've seen this before.
And one arm is going to get a lot bigger than the other.
Oh.
All right. Well, I think that was fun.
Guys.
That was a very spirited debate.
We could have gone, honestly, we probably could have gone another half hour. Tony and I can get a little long-winded, especially when it comes to politics and religion. But, with that one, we had to at least touch on it. Look, these kind of extremist behaviors are never cool. So definitely thoughts and prayers out to the family of James Foley. I'm not going to begin to apologize for the people who have done this. They're horrible, evil people. And hopefully we're looking at some safer times ahead and these people get dealt with soon.
If I had my finger on the nuclear button, I don't know how I could not keep from laying waste to a country and going, hey, wait a minute, there's peace in the Middle East. Because you can't hear anything. There's no noises anymore. That is a really hard problem, especially when you see stuff like this. You just want to go and, I personally, I'm not going to speak for you. You just want to go through there and just surgically remove anything that does not think correctly. I know it's wrong, but whenever you kill somebody that's an American citizen, it makes me want to take you out, and I'm not talking about for a nice meal.
Yep. Well, hopefully we have some surgical strikes here very soon. Well, guys, that wraps it up for the show. Hope you guys enjoyed Tony and I rambling on. Please consider heading over to tonyandjosh.com, checking out the entire show archive for your listening pleasure, and make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel, and we hope to see you here every Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Central.
Yep. Thanks, guys, and we really appreciate you being here for the show. And, if you do an ice bucket challenge, send us a message or something. Just send it over to info@tonyandjosh.com. Let us know if you did the ice bucket challenge, how it went, how much you donated, and if you really donated or not. We'll withhold your name if you didn't donate. See you later.
Take care.
So that was 33 minutes. Yeah, I saw around the 29 mark, and didn't want to pull the plug. Hey, no freezing video.
Yeah. So I didn't figure it out. I took a wild ass guess, honestly, that this Minicam software that I have installed, although I hadn't been using it the last several episodes of both shows, it's still on the machine.
Right.
And originally I had thought that this program was causing some noise. And I figured out, obviously, to the contrary. It's power source, but whatever. So I figured there was probably some conflicts because the Minicam wants to take over everything. And even though I had switched things in Skype to be using a different driver, different software, it was still in the list. And because of it's such a more powerful program, I'm guessing here, I'm putting tags on this, that it might have been, causing some conflicts. So instead of actually just removing drivers and software and stuff, I figured, all right, well, let's give this Minicam a shot. Let's play back around with the second camera, see what happens. And lo and behold, no freezing video.
That's really good. Oh, real quick,
me a couple times where it's it kind of does this little flutter type of thing.
Yeah, I did notice that,
which was kind of weird. I was like in the Matrix there for a second, but yeah, that was the only negative thing I saw. But as long as the audio is coming through fine, who cares what I look like?
Oh yeah, and actually, I was able to play the music a lot louder since I turned my mic gain down to you, and you seem to be able to hear me okay. So
you're coming in loud and clear.
Yeah, your audio was really there, and I didn't have to worry about bumping the music down. Listening to the shows in the Jeep, I don't even hear the music; it's so low. So I was trying to come up with something. So we probably need to start doing this on the website more on XJ Talk. But I've been posting up. Basically giving more advertisement to the XJ Talk show, and even mentioned this podcast tonight earlier today on that same thread. And it comes from that thread, or the post came from a guy out there on the site going, I don't have a TV, and I'd like to know more, remind me more. That way I can
Right.
remember to come watch the show, because I'd really like to do that. And I just have felt, icky about panhandling for viewers. So apparently that's working out a little bit. We got another voicemail. I think we got like 3 or 4 voicemails this week for the XJ Talk Show, and this looks like it's from a new. It looks like it's from a new caller. I'm looking at the Google voice to text translation, so it's not 100%.
Oh, right.
Anyway, real happy about seeing that. Long story for getting there, but I believe that's probably why we got that voicemail. It just came in at 7:30 tonight.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Okay. So I did not get a chance to do a promo for our show last week, and I did not stick a promo on front of episode 35. So we probably want to record at least an audio promo, so that I can stick that on there in the front. I could always grab the bit where we talk about what's going to be on the show, when you're reading through the stories that we're going to use. But I'd rather it not be a repeat where they hear it once and then they hear it again. So I guess what I'm saying is we should at least do the audio promo. I think that flows well with the podcast.
Go back to the previous recipe where we do an audio video.
I need to do something different.
All right.
I think the audio works well for the audio podcast, but I think I need to do something different for the video. I think people are a little more picky about what they see. Hearing the same thing might feel comfortable, but seeing the same thing all the time is boring and redundant. Don't know what I'm talking about, just trying to sound like I do.
Sorry, here, I'm going to plug my fan in real quick, just get some breeze flowing in here.
I look forward to robots so we can all have our own personal fans. A little play on words there. Very little.
I can't have it on high because the microphone ends up picking it up, but if I can just get some breeze blowing across my legs here.
Bill Clinton.
Cool a little bit.
Bill Clinton, Martha's Vineyard, between holes 7 and 8. Hello. Oh, it takes all my control not to just jump all over the top of you while you're talking to say those things.
If we were in a studio together, and there wasn't such a loss of audio when one of us talks over the other, when you talk over me, we can get away with that sort of thing because we'd be on the same sort of audio level and quality and stuff.
I could wave my hand or give you a look,
throw up a visual, and you got one.
Yeah, just a visual, and everybody else would go, "Oh, here it comes." Brace yourself. So we went. My wife suggested we go to have margaritas. I mean, Mexican food. They have like dollar margaritas at this Mexican food place here in Katy.
Lucky, yes. Oh, you don't drink. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And so when she said go have margaritas, she was talking about she wanted to go have margaritas. Anyway, the waiter came up, and I always do this stuff very seriously because it just embarrasses the hell out of her. She likes it, but it still embarrasses her. I have the menu, and the waiter walks up, and I'm looking at the menu, and I look at him and I said, "Let me ask you something. Exactly how many margaritas can you order or have, one person order and have, before you guys stop bringing them?" And she starts laughing like, "Oh, no, he's just kidding.
No, it's not the plan."
And the waiter says 100.
No.
Yeah. So
when you fall down.
So she's laughing, and she goes, and he walks off, and she goes, "Oh, I thought you were going to ask him something serious. You had such a serious look on your face." Yeah, that's the fun. That's how you do it. You do it real serious. This was like that time we went to Tortugas, and they had the little tank with the turtles there at the door. And I asked the young lady that was waiting on us at the, where you walk up before you're seated. And I looked at her real serious, and I said, I've told you this already, I believe. I pointed at the turtle tank, and I said, "Do we pick which turtle that we want to eat?"
No, you didn't tell me that one. That's a
I
good
didn't tell you that.
one.
And I'm
You're
pointing. I'm
pointing
pointing.
all dead serious too.
Yeah. So
Do we pick?
like the lobster tank, but it's a turtle tank because it's tortugas, and this look of horror washes over this girl's face.
Color gone.
No, and my wife, she won't just play along, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, he's kidding. It's not. It's a joke. It's an attempted humor." I said, "Come on." She was uncomfortable. It was hilarious. See, I troll in person. I don't troll just behind the relative safety of a monitor. I do it face to face, in your face, full on trolling. You know, there's people with shows that get paid lots of money that do that. What was it? Girls Behaving Badly? That was a trolling show.
I remember. I've honestly never watched a single minute of that. I seen it in the in the lineup or whatever, and I was like, oh, that's going to be another horrible reality TV show.
Oh, it's not. It's a comedy thing. It's like Candid Camera, but in the 2000s. So it's not politically correct. It's off color humor, and what's her name? She's got a show now. She was in it. Blonde hair. Chelsea Lately. The show Chelsea Lately. What's her name?
Oh, yeah.
Chelsea Handler or something like that.
Handler, yeah. I think it's Handler, yeah.
Chandler or Handler. I always thought, for the longest time, I thought her last name was Lately. It's like that joke that I made. There's a show on Mexican TV, Latin TV called Sábado Gigante. And it always says the same guy as the MC. And I would make the joke like, oh, look, there's Mr. Gigante. Because it's like his show, but it's Saturday Big, I think is what that means. Sábado, which is, was it shoe? Big shoe? Really big shoe.
Really big shoe.
I can barely remember the Ed Sullivan Show.
I of course, when I was watching TV, it was, I believe, out of syndication, but I remember it still being on TV repeats.
Maybe that's what I was saying.
TV land sort of thing.
There's on the in-between channels, like the 2.2 or the 11.2 or whatever. I saw they're showing the Jack Benny Show.
No way.
Yeah, and it's pretty funny. It's like watching Frasier 150 years ago. And when I say Frasier, I don't mean the show. I mean Kelsey Graham. How his character that he portrays in front of the camera. At least when he was playing Frasier, where he'd have that deadpan look at the camera or at the individual. Very Jack Benny. I can't believe how popular he's got, and he came in as an extra on Cheers.
Really? Is that how he got started?
Oh, you weren't a Cheers fan?
No, I was a huge Cheers fan. I don't remember him.
He was not on. Kelsey Grammer was not on that show originally, and he came in as a love interest with Diane Chambers when she was still, I forget her name. Whenever she was still on that show, and he stayed after she left, and he continued on until the show ended, and he started his own show, Frasier, which is the same character name as what he was on Cheers.
Well, it was essentially the same character. He had the psych business or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was same person. I mean, same character. Absolutely.
Was that really his first TV role?
That's the first one I remember seeing him in. I don't know, but his rise to popularity was Cheers, and then his own show. And then Frasier, the series Frasier went on for 8, 10, 12 years, something like that.
Oh, yeah. And it was on for a while. Now he's in some political humor show, isn't he?
Yes.
Well, he was also, and he was Beast in X-Men.
And he is in the Expendables 3, which I find very strange.
Really?
I find that very strange.
No, he's not an action hero. Come on.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
that's
he's
Jump
not
Shark.
He's not a beast either, but he certainly did a good job. I mean, I suppose that character's a bit of a brainiac, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's a good actor. He's a good actor, so a good actor should be able to play any character.
True, and I guess, I mean, as an X-Men man, whatever, that's about as action as it gets. So okay, he qualifies, I guess.
I was not, by the way, I was not very impressed with any of the X-Men movies. They were okay, but not. Have you seen Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, I want to so bad.
I would not be interested in it, except they got a raccoon, and I thought this is pretty damn hokey. It has a chance.
It's based on a comic book, and it was a fairly popular comic book, a little bit after yours and mine generation, nonetheless. But I was aware of it, and although I wasn't, again, that was a little bit post my generation. I just knew of it, and I mean, anything sci-fi and space related, I've got it's right in my wheelhouse. So it automatically gains like 2-3 stars if it has to do with space or sci-fi. So when I saw that, I was just like, oh. So whether it's a good movie, whether the acting is done well, whether the cinematography and it's all put together right, I don't know. I've heard nothing but good things about it, so I'm going in with high hopes.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever heard anything of it until I saw the preview, and it was all these people. I think they were in front of like doing a lineup or something. Is kind of what it reminded me of, and there was a raccoon standing there, and I thought, okay, I might want to see this. If there's a raccoon with a gun shooting things, and a tree that he is shooting from. They had an animated GIF up on it before I think there was even any popular talk on the internet about it, where the raccoon was firing this this machine gun type thing standing on a living tree, and I thought to myself, well, somebody's had some fun with their animation, because this makes no sense. Then I found out it's part of a movie, and I went, oh, okay. Oh, did you see the? I think I mentioned this before. Did you see the little promo that? Who's the popular director that directed the Star Trek movies, the recent ones?
That wasn't James Cameron, was it?
No. Anyway, he's doing the new Star Wars movie, and he's standing next to an X-wing fighter on a studio lot, and he's standing there, and he has his hand on the X-wing at one point because he's leaning on it. And then he takes his hand down and he continues to talk. He's talking about being in the movie as an extra, and
J.J. Abrams.
Yes, Abrams, like the tank. And he X-wing fighter pilot is walking out, and he's in the way of the ladder. He says, "Excuse me," and Abrams has to back up, and the guy gets on the ladder and climbs up into the X-wing, and then he's finishing up with what he's saying. And one of those little rectangular wheeled things, like that Chewie yelled at in Star Wars, it's like, zzz, and then he goes, and it goes, and that thing, one of those comes scurrying by, and Abrams goes, "What's that doing out of here? That thing, why is it out here?" Like a director. It's scurrying all over the parking lot. So it was beautifully done. I literally think that they had a full X-wing mock-up is the way it looked. And I don't know. These days you can't tell. I know in the original Star Wars, they did have full X-wing mock-ups that they were actually using for the filming. Now, I don't know if this thing was real or not, because you just can't tell anymore. But it was very impressive. Anyway, if you haven't seen that little PSA that he's doing about collecting money for some charity or something, you should see that. It's funny.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
So I looked up wheelhouse. It says area of expertise, but I'm trying to figure out what actually a wheelhouse is.
It's the little house that would be on a boat that would contain the
ship's wheel or boat of ship. Bridge is the nautical term. Pilot house.
Bridge.
In railways, it's a turnable like device which allows wagons to switch rails. Baseball jargon, it's a sweet spot of the baseball player's strike zone. Oh, that's interesting. It's an English language idiom derived from baseball jargon. In architecture, wheelhouse archaeology is a prehistoric structure from the Iron Age found in Scotland. The portion of the building in a watermill that contains water wheel or gears to power the millstone. In music, wheelhouse album. People, wheelhouse surname. Thank you, Wikipedia.
Right.
I was really surprised the Urban Dictionary had it as a area of specialty. It's getting pretty bad whenever Urban Dictionary sounds like a dictionary.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, you got something?
Sure.
Okay.
Up in the show notes there, yellow highlight is you. Going to do a little bit more back and forth than we normally do, so we'll see how that goes.
And let me wrap up the video here. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Josh does too. You just can't tell by his facial expression. And there you go. Now you can. He's selling it. So I'll say goodnight. And again, thank you for being here. Hope we see you next week.
Yep. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. And like Tony said, we'll see you next week.